Kim had thrown a packet onto the bed. "I got the location of the Nanayama Yakuza's business," he said. Mirror raised an eyebrow. "You were the one who cut his eyes, and yet he gave you the information that easily?" Kim smirked. "They want us to raid the place." He leaned back, crossing his arms. "Nanayama Yakuza and Ivan are hostile forces. They want us to think this is a golden opportunity. But if we go in expecting an ambush, they'll trap us and say, 'You're done.'" Now in the present, Kim stood face to face with Ivan. The man smirked. "You're done." Kim adjusted his glasses. "Thanks for playing right into the plan, Ivan." He smirked. "You're the one who's done." Ivan's smirk faltered. "What did you just say?" Kim stepped forward. "Let me tell you a little story. When I was assigned the mission to eliminate Anna, I did my research. Your organization doesn't collaborate with existing forces when distributing goods. Instead, you absorb them. And guess where your supply was being traded?" He tilted his head. "Right in your own territory." Ivan's face twisted in rage. Did this bastard know everything? From my organization being swallowed by the Nanayama Yakuza to this whole trap? His fists clenched as he barked. "Shoot him! Turn him into a beehive!" His men pulled out their guns and opened fire. But Kim didn't stop. He pulled out his knife and charged forward, weaving through the hail of bullets. Ivan, standing behind his men, watched in disbelief. Is he seriously charging in like that? The whole path is littered with silver bullets. If even one lands, he's finished. But then Ivan's thoughts froze. Kim wasn't just dodging the bullets, he was moving as if they were in slow motion. Every shot that should have hit him barely grazed past, his body shifting just enough to avoid them. And with each step forward, his knife flashed, deflecting the bullets midair. Within seconds, he was already closing in. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Coco stood in the middle of a crowd, gracefully dancing under the spotlight. Through her earpiece, Kim's voice came through. "It's time. Move." Coco's lips curled into a smirk. Following the scent of Mirror's blood, she whispered. With a swift motion, she leaped into the air, revealing herself in full. Tossing aside her wig, glasses, and the cloth draped over her, she sprinted toward Mirror's location. "Let's go." Back in the confrontation, Ivan chuckled. "You made a mistake, Kim. Sending a comrade, especially a woman, straight into enemy territory? Do you have any idea what we do before our supply runs?" His grin widened. "By now, your little girlfriend should already be unconscious, completely overwhelmed." A gunshot rang out. Ivan's words cut off as pain exploded in his shoulder. Kim had fired, his eyes cold with fury. "Did you forget who I am?" His voice was steady, but his anger was undeniable. "You're acting pretty calm, but this isn't the time to be worrying about anyone else, is it?" Mirror lay motionless on the ground, her body weak, her breathing shallow. A man approached, looking down at her with a smirk. "This is the last one, right?" "She's gorgeous," he muttered, reaching out to touch her. But before his fingers could graze her skin, Mirror's lips barely moved. "The ones you should really worry about are your own subordinates." Just as his hand neared her, she suddenly grabbed his wrist with her trembling fingers. Though exhausted, her grip tightened with surprising strength. Her eyes flared an intense orange yellow, burning with fury. The man cried out in pain, his wrist crushed under her grip. His agonized scream echoed outside. One of the guards stationed near the entrance turned at the sound, concern flashing across his face. "What the hell was that?" he muttered, stepping inside to check. The moment he crossed the threshold, Mirror moved. With a sudden burst of speed, she flipped up from the ground and drove her heels straight into his face. A sickening crunch followed as blood splattered from his nose, and he collapsed instantly. Outside, the sound of the struggle had not gone unnoticed. A black car screeched to a stop, and the door swung open. A man stepped out, eyes scanning the scene before his expression twisted in shock. "It's an ambush. Everyone, get down," he roared. The car doors flew open, and more men poured out, guns drawn. "Who the hell dares to attack us?" one of them shouted. But then they saw her. Mirror stood there, her glowing eyes filled with nothing but fury. For a split second, the men hesitated, sensing the danger in the air. But she didn't give them the chance to react. Before they could even aim, she was already moving. Her fist struck like a storm, knocking them down one by one. As she fought, a memory of Kim's words surfaced in her mind. "Those bastards will use tricks to make you lose consciousness. You just have to pretend to fall for it. Then they'll move your unconscious body to their real business location. At that point, Coco will track you down. Wait for us there. She had questioned him then. Wait a minute, how can you be so sure they'll come after me? Kim had simply handed her something. That's why there's something you need to wear. Now, standing in the aftermath of the fight, she clenched her teeth in frustration. She reached for her phone, dialing Kim's number. Pick up. But the call wouldn't go through. She realized she was underground. No signal. Her body swayed slightly. A sharp pain flared in her side. She looked down. Blood. Her wound had reopened from all the movement. Just from this. She thought bitterly, recalling Kim's warning. Remember, you're wounded. Don't overdo it. Wait for us. But how could she wait? She remembered the words of the men who had tied her up. This is the last one, right? Last. That meant there were others before her. Others who had been captured. They could be suffering right now. Her grip tightened around the phone. I'm sorry, Kim. Then, another memory surfaced, Cecilia's voice. The true mission of our corps is to save people from vampires. Her eyes darkened with resolve. Even if there's hell down here, I have to save them. Ignoring her wound, she started moving. Her feet carried her back to the room where she had been held captive. Her mind raced with questions. Why are they kidnapping so many people? She had seen several vehicles leave the club, yet only a few had arrived here. That means there must be other locations. Then she noticed something odd. Why were there operating rooms? Why were there multiple prisons? And more importantly, why was this place completely empty? As she walked, her foot struck something small. A faint clinking sound echoed in the silence. She looked down. A small red test tube. Curious, she bent down and picked it up. There was something written on the glass. Squinting, she read the word aloud. Blood. A voice suddenly echoed through the room. How interesting. Mirror's body tensed. Katerina stood there, watching her with an amused smirk. How did you get here? Katerina mused, tilting her head. All the human women should have been placed in coffins by now. So tell me. Her eyes gleamed in the dim light. Who are you? Mira remained crouched, her fingers brushing against the test tube. She caught me from behind without making a sound. A cold realization settled over her. This one, she's definitely the leader of the Nanayama Yakuza. Katerina's voice sharpened. I asked you a question. Mira didn't move. Her body was already weak from blood loss. Running into the leader, now unarmed and injured, was the worst possible scenario. God, even if my life must be taken according to your will, let me fulfill my duty until my last breath. Steeling herself, she slowly stood up, fingers reaching for the wig on her head. Turning to face Katerina, she pulled it off, revealing her true identity. I am a bishop of the Vitiation Special Task Force, she declared. Mirror. Katerina's smirk widened. So it's you. A rustling sound came from behind. Mirror turned slightly, her body tensing as she saw snakes slithering toward her, their scales gleaming under the dim lights. Katerina chuckled. The bitch who keeps clinging to Kim Suyak. Mirror clenched her fists, her muscles coiling in preparation. Kim, if I die here, please take care of the rest. Her eyes narrowed, fixing on the deadly creatures moving toward her. No matter what, I won't go down without a fight. Elsewhere, Coco sniffed the air, her nose twitching as she followed the faint scent of blood. The trail led deeper underground. Kim followed right behind her, his eyes scanning their surroundings. So this is their real base, he thought. Now, if I can just meet up with Mirror, his thoughts were interrupted when Coco abruptly stopped. I'm not sure from here on, Kim frowned. What do you mean? You can't track her scent anymore. Coco hesitated. It's not that, it's the opposite. She pointed toward a metal door. Behind there, the smell of blood is overwhelming. Kim's jaw tightened. Too much blood? What the hell are they doing? Then his eyes caught something on the ground, a phone. Picking it up, he pressed a button and a voice recording started to play. It was Mirror. Sorry for going against the plan, her voice came through the speaker. But it seems there are hostages, so I had to move. The task force's mission is to save people from vampires. Saving lives comes before our own survival or even the task force itself. So, I hope you will carry out your mission without fail. As your comrade. I believe in you, Kim. Kim's grip on the phone tightened. He turned to Coco. Let's move. Now. But Coco hesitated. She clutched his coat, her voice trembling. Kim, what's wrong? She didn't answer right away. Then, barely above a whisper, she said, this smell, it's the same as when we met Red. Kim's entire body stiffened. His breath caught. Red? Coco swallowed hard. Red and a vampire. A chilling realization sank into Kim's bones. He grabbed Coco's shoulders. A vampire? You mean the leader is here? How many are there? Coco's eyes darted around frantically. her breathing uneven. I don't know. 1, 2. I don't understand. Her voice wavered. She was panicking. PTSD, Kim realized. Damn it, she's having an episode. But there was no time to comfort her now. I can't delay any longer, he muttered under his breath. His gut told him something was terribly wrong. Mirror is in danger. And this facility, he looked around. There are no signs of recent use. Something's off. Coco clung to his sleeve, her voice barely above a whisper. Let's go back, Kim. I don't like it here. Kim exhaled sharply. Just hang in there a little longer, he said firmly. I'll get the kidnapped people and Mirror out. He met her gaze. I know it's tough, but I need you to keep tracking. They started moving again. Then Kim saw it, a trail of blood on the floor. Something inside him snapped. Blood, his eyes followed the streaks. The pattern, it wasn't a normal spill. It was a drag mark. Someone had been pulled away, and there were no signs of resistance. His fists clenched. This isn't just any blood. A realization struck him like lightning. Coco, he said, his voice suddenly hoarse. Whose blood is this? Coco didn't answer immediately. Her breath hitched. And then it's Mirror's blood. Kim's heart stopped. He slowly turned his head toward the trail. His mind whirled, struggling to process the situation. Does this mean she's been caught? Mirror. Damn it. Without another thought, he bolted forward, leaving Coco behind. His feet pounded against the ground, his mind racing. Did she run into the leader? I told her not to push herself. Please be safe, Mirror. He reached a large metal door. Without hesitation, he pulled out his gun and kicked it open. Mirror, but what he saw inside made his breath catch. Rows upon rows of chambers lined the walls. And inside each one, young women, all unconscious, each wearing a breathing mask. Kim's grip on his gun tightened. His jaw clenched. What the hell is this? Kim's eyes darted around the room, his mind reeling. What the hell is this place? Rows of chambers filled with unconscious girls, their faces obscured by breathing masks. His stomach twisted. What the hell are they doing here? His gaze locked onto the tubes connected to their arms. Red liquid pulsed through the lines, seeping into their veins. Are they experimenting on humans? Why? Footsteps echoed behind him as Coco stepped inside. She halted, staring at the grotesque sight before her. Her eyes fixated on a girl in one of the chambers, a thin tube inserted into her arm, steadily pumping the crimson substance into her body. Coco's voice wavered. They're injecting that red stuff. Kim's head snapped toward her. What did you say? Coco's hands clenched into fists. Her ears drooped. That hurts. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Ayaka and I, we hated that red stuff too. Kim's heart pounded. So this is it. This is where Ayaka and Coco were drugged. His jaw tightened as the pieces fell into place. These bastards. They're kidnapping people and experimenting on them, creating vampires. His eyes darkened. And that drug being injected, it's probably the one we've been looking for. He exhaled sharply, steadying himself. If we rescue everyone and investigate this facility, we might finally figure out what these guys are after. His voice hardened. But first, we need to find Mirror. Turning to Coco, he ordered, keep looking for her. But before she could respond, a voice echoed through the room. Speaking of Mirror, Kim's blood ran cold. Are you talking about her? Katarina stepped out of the shadows, a cruel smile on her lips. In her grasp was Mirror, her body limp, bound tightly by a massive snake coiling around her. Kim's breath caught. Mirror. Without thinking, he raised his gun, aiming it directly at Katarina's head. His finger hovered over the trigger. Katarina, what the hell have you done to her? Katarina chuckled. Whoa, calm down. Her grip on Mirror tightened. I don't plan on killing her just yet. Her voice was dripping with amusement. After all, what I want isn't this body. Kim's grip on his gun tightened. What? She smirked. I'll contact you when I'm ready to swap her body with yours. His entire body stiffened. His heart pounded in his chest. Don't spout nonsense. Katarina tilted her head, unfazed. We'll meet again soon, anyway, so don't bother following me. A dangerous glint flashed in her eyes as she gestured toward the room. Why don't you focus on saving them instead? Then she added, almost lazily, this location has been exposed. The death squad will come. We've done all we need to hear. So, a sudden movement, one of Katarina's snakes slithered toward a panel and slammed its face against a large red button. The entire facility blared to life. Alarms shrieked. Red warning lights flashed across the room. Kim's stomach dropped. "I'm going to blow this whole place sky high." Katarina smirked. "What a shame. I'll see you next time, Kim." Kim lunged forward. "Wait, Mirror." But she was already gone. His breathing was ragged, his mind racing. Then a choked gasp. Kim turned sharply. Coco was trembling, her hands clutching her ears. Her breathing grew rapid, her body stiff with panic. She was spiraling. Kim clenched his fists. "Damn it, she's in shock." He reached out, shaking her shoulders. "Coco, snap out of it." But his own mind was spinning. "If I chase after Katarina now, I might be able to save Mirror." His eyes flickered to the rows of unconscious captives. "But if I leave now, these people will definitely die." His hands trembled with frustration. The alarm screamed louder. The countdown had begun. Kim gritted his teeth, his voice shaking with rage. Damn it. Kim's eyes burned with frustration, but he couldn't afford to hesitate any longer. His decision was made. Without wasting a second, he lunged forward, throwing his fist into the surface with all his strength. The glass shattered completely, and the unconscious girl inside collapsed forward. Kim caught her just in time, his jaw clenching. "I have to get them out now. No more hesitation. No more doubts." Kim clenched his teeth in frustration. Only 19 seconds remained before the entire building would explode, and he had to get all the girls out. He started smashing the chambers one by one, but as the girls emerged, they weren't breathing. Time was running out. The countdown reached 0. A massive explosion erupted from the floor of the building. But just in time, Kim managed to escape with Coco and one girl. Outside, he slumped against the wall, his chest rising and falling heavily. "I'm sorry, Mirror." His gaze shifted to the girl, the only one he had managed to save from the chambers. "That was a close call. We couldn't save anyone except her. Among the test subjects, only she survived. She is the only one who successfully became a vampire." A moment passed in silence before the girl sat down on the ground, pulling a coat tightly around herself. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "But please kill me." Tears streamed down her face as she continued. "I was a number-serving god. But now my body has been defiled." Her sobs deepened. "If I have to live by drinking someone's blood, I don't want to live. Please, I beg you." Kim's expression remained firm. "No," he said. "We protect everyone from vampires. We don't kill victims." She hesitated, her hands shaking. "I understand," then, her fingers curled around a sharp piece of glass lying nearby. In a desperate motion, she raised it, aiming to pierce her own chest. Kim reacted instantly, grabbing her hand and stopping her. His grip was firm but not harsh. "It might be confusing to suddenly become a vampire overnight," he said. "I've been there too." She looked at him with wide, tear-filled eyes. Kim continued, his voice steady. "Then, a member of the Order appeared before me. That member gave me a reason to live again. She tried to save others before herself, and the life she managed to save is yours. I'm sure you will find your own reason to live for their sake." Her grip on the glass weakened. Kim's voice softened. "If nothing else, don't give up." The girl let out a choked sob before dropping the shard. She collapsed against Kim, wrapping her arms around him, crying uncontrollably. As he held her, Kim thought, "Mirror, we saved at least one person, like you said. So you too, please be safe." Few hours earlier, Katrina stood over Mirror's unconscious body, her lips curling into a smirk. "Let's just kill her. Why keep the bishop bitch alive? We caught her, so we might as well finish her off. We can just lure Kim Seo-hyuk in and catch him too." The woman standing across from her remained unfazed. "Just do as I say, Katrina. I've got a plan. Unlike you, I actually use my brain." Katrina's expression twisted in anger. "You crazy women!" Before the woman could finish her sentence, Katrina lashed out. One of her snakes shot forward, fangs bared, striking toward the woman with lethal speed. "Don't you dare underestimate me!" But the woman didn't even flinch. She caught the snake midair, gripping it by the neck with such force that the creature burst apart in her hand. Blood splattered onto the floor. The woman's voice was calm, almost bored. "Katrina, I'm talking here." Katrina's fury boiled over. "I already told you, don't underestimate me." Her body began to shift, thick, glistening serpentine scales crawling up her arms as more snakes emerged from her. But before she could fully transform, the woman moved, shooting down each of the snakes one by one with blinding speed. Smirking, the woman flicked the blood off her hands. "Getting cocky just because you drank some blood? You've gotten cuter while I wasn't looking." Her expression darkened. "If it weren't for Anna's orders, I would have killed you already." Katrina sneered, but she didn't notice one of her snakes slithering behind the woman until it struck. Its fangs sank deep into the woman's ankle. Katrina grinned triumphantly. "Oh, really? That's perfect. I never received such an order." The woman didn't even flinch. Instead, she smirked as Katrina lunged at her with a massive snake coiling around her. "Anyone who pisses me off dies. Got it?" But in a flash, the woman was gone. Katrina's eyes widened. "When did she?" A chilling voice spoke from behind her. "Is that thing on your shoulders just for decoration?" Before Katrina could react, the woman's blade sliced clean through the giant snake wrapped around her. Blood sprayed as the severed serpent thudded to the floor. Katrina whirled around, her breath caught in her throat. The woman's hand was soaked in blood and her eyes burned a deep, menacing red. Her voice dropped to a venomous whisper. "How dare a mere 5th Squad leader talk to me like that?" Katrina clenched her teeth. She could feel that this woman was on a completely different level. Her aura was overwhelming. This was no ordinary vampire. This was Lily, the 3rd escort leader of the Nanayama Yakuza. Katrina glared at her, swallowing her frustration. "What the hell?" she muttered under her breath. She could feel her muscles tensing, but she held herself back. "Kim was promised to me. I'll put up with this for now." Lily turned her attention to Mirror's unconscious form. Katrina frowned. "So what are you planning to do with that girl?" Lily didn't even glance at her. "Katrina, when it comes to pest control, you don't just mindlessly catch what's right in front of you. If you want to wipe out their entire kind, you go straight for the nest." Inside the facility, Kim stood protectively in front of the girl he had just rescued. His mind was still racing from everything that had happened. Then footsteps echoed through the room. A man stepped forward, a gun aimed directly at Kim. "You need to raid their nest." The man pointed a gun at Kim and spoke in a firm voice, "Kim Suyak. It's a message from Lady Katrina." Kim turned his head sharply, his mind racing. "How did she?" The man continued, his tone eerily calm. "The woman is in a place only I know. Come here tonight." He tossed a folded piece of paper onto the ground before adding, "If you don't come alone, the woman dies." Kim's eyes narrowed as he observed the man closely. The veins on his neck were glowing green, a clear sign that Katrina was controlling him. The man smirked slightly. "Well then, I will be waiting." Without hesitation, his gun hand shifted direction, pressing the barrel to his own temple. He pulled the trigger. A deafening shot rang out. Blood splattered across the ground as the man collapsed lifelessly. Kim clenched his fists, thinking, destroying evidence. Shouts came from outside. The rest of the task force was closing in, alerted by the sound of the gunshot. Moreover, they even know our location. Kim realized. Coco stepped forward, crouching beside the fallen man. She sniffed the air, her nose twitching slightly. "Kim," she said, her voice tinged with suspicion, "this person was used by Katrina, but he smells like Mirror." Kim didn't respond immediately. His thoughts pieced together the puzzle. "I see. Maybe this man was the one who moved Mirror. That's why he carries her scent." He turned to Coco. Then, "Can you find Mirror?" Coco nodded. "Yeah, I can follow the scent." Kim bent down, retrieving the paper from the ground. It held the location Katrina had given. He studied it for a moment before making his decision. "All right, Coco, I'll go to Katrina. You rescue Mirror and then come find me." Coco's head snapped up. "What? No, I'm going to Katrina." Her fists trembled at her sides, rage building in her voice. "That bitch, she killed Ayaka." Kim met her furious gaze with unwavering resolve. "Coco, I understand. You want revenge. But without Mirror, the task force will hunt us down. And just as Ayaka was precious to you, right now, Mirror and you are the most precious to me." He placed a hand on her shoulder. "Can you save Mirror?" Coco clenched her teeth, struggling with her emotions. After a tense moment, she exhaled sharply and muttered, "Fine, I'll do it. But I'm the one who's gonna kill her." Kim nodded before turning to his team. "Investigate the identity of that task force member from earlier and provide backup for Coco. I'll go after Katrina." "Yes, understood," the team members responded. Kim then turned to the girl they had rescued from the chamber. "Stay put." She nodded. "Okay." As he walked towards Katrina's location, his mind drifted to Coco. "Coco, you probably want to rush toward the one who killed your precious friend right now. If so, then hurry, because I can't guarantee I'll let that woman live either." Kim finally arrived at the location. He pushed open the heavy church doors, stepping inside cautiously. The dim candlelight flickered against the tall stained glass windows, casting eerie shadows across the aisle. At the center of the room stood Katrina, draped in a pristine white wedding gown, her lips curled into a devilish smile. "You're late for our wedding," she said, spreading her arms theatrically. Kim's gaze swept the room. The pews were filled with people silent, unmoving, their empty eyes staring straight ahead. Their twisted expressions told him they weren't here by choice. Katrina had them under her control. "So many guests have come," she continued. "How could the groom be late?" Kim scowled, pulling out his gun. "Shut up." Without hesitation, he opened fire, his bullets piercing through the heads of the possessed men one by one. The eerie silence of the church was shattered by the sound of gunfire and bodies collapsing onto the cold stone floor. But just as Kim took down another target, he caught a glimpse of movement behind him. A man had managed to slip through his blind spot, raising a sword to slice through his neck. "Damn!" Kim twisted at the last second, ducking under the swing. The blade narrowly missed his throat, slicing through the air instead. Before the attacker could recover, Kim slammed his fist into the man's face, sending him stumbling backward. From the side, more gunfire erupted. Kim swiftly rolled behind one of the fallen bodies, using it as a shield. The bullets tore through the corpse, but Kim was already on the move. He spun around, firing a shot straight into an approaching man's chin, dropping him instantly. More enemies swarmed toward him. Kim didn't hesitate. Every shot was precise, every move calculated. He weaved through the chaos, dodging bullets and slashing with his knife when they got too close. Blood splattered across the stone walls, the agonized screams of Katrina's puppets echoing through the church. One last enemy stood in front of him, raising his gun. Kim caught the flash of metal, but instead of retreating, he lunged forward. Just as the bullet was fired, he bent his body at an impossible angle, dodging by a hair's breadth. In the same motion, he yanked the gun from the man's hands and fired a shot straight into his skull. Silence followed. Kim exhaled sharply, standing amidst the carnage, blood dripping from his hands. His eyes locked onto Katrina. "Playtime's over," he growled, raising his gun toward her. "Where's Mirror?" Katrina smirked, completely unfazed by the massacre. She took a slow step forward, placing her hand on the barrel of his gun and pressing it against her chest. "Oh my," she whispered. "Look at that intensity." Kim didn't flinch. His finger hovered over the trigger. "Calm down," Katrina purred. "I didn't call you here to fight." Her eyes gleamed with amusement. "If you kill me, she dies too." Kim's grip tightened. Katrina leaned closer, her breath warm against his skin. "The only way to save her," she whispered, "is to spend our wedding night with me."